What's going on, America? We got to talk. Um, so I started a podcast, and you're now tuned into that podcast. This is the Modern Mandate Podcast. I'm your host, Frederick. Today's Thursday, June 25th, and it is another beautiful day here in Dayton, right? Dayton, Ohio. It's a little cloudy. It's cleared up. Um, Skies are blue, so it should turn out to be a great day. Um, Already hit the gym, so I'm kind of in a really good mood. So with no further ado, I'm a little nervous. I'll say that. I will admit, but my nervousness isn't going to overcome the my need to speak up about what's going on. So with no further ado, I'm gonna start this off. So let's jump right into today's topic. Today's topic is the mess of the war that we have been essentially dragged into, right? Once again, right, the United States of America finds itself caught up in a conflict in the Middle East with no clear exit plan or strategy in sight to get our troops out of there, to get us not involved in foreign affairs. This administration, for whatever reason, has decided to shoot first and ask questions later. Later, after being told that this administration, for whatever reason, has decided to shoot questions and ask first. This administration, for whatever reason, has decided to shoot first and ask questions later. After being quote unquote tipped off that Iran had the capability to enrich uranium to the point where it could be used for nuclear weapons. Now, obviously, till this day, there's no. Instead of pursuing right diplomacy, diplomatic options, demanding inspections like we have in the past, or exhausting peaceful avenues, the first thing the United States and Israel decided to do was to carry out a bombing campaign. Before attempting or reaching any meaningful political resolution. Now, currently, after thousands of lives have been lost and billions of dollars have been burned, we're suddenly hearing calls for peace talks on the side of the United States. And to make matters worse, previous to make matters worse, previous diplomatic agreements that help reduce tensions and prevent escalation were abandoned, simply abandoned by this administration, only for us to end up right back at the negotiation table. It's just their methodology in the way they are conducting themselves and conducting business and international affairs is just simply just objectively incorrect. Personally, I see this just as another major blunder from this administration that continues to appear increasingly disconnected from the consequences of his actions. A big blunder that is also costing billions of dollars from taxpayers, right? Are we aren't getting the things we want because of wars like this. And then now on top of what is it, 1.3 trillion dollars already appropriated through the proper channels, they're already discussing trying to request another 80 billion from Congress. Every dollar spent overseas is less dollars spent fixing the issue stateside. Inflation continues to strain household budgets. Gas prices remain volatile. Rent prices continue to climb. Healthcare costs are quite literally crushing the working class. Young people are still struggling to buy homes. They're struggling to even want to start families, let alone if they want to, financially, can they do it? And let alone building wealth, right? We're just trying to survive, let alone pour into 401ks or investments, stocks, ETFs, bonds. There is no solution in sight. After, I mean, damn near 18 months of Americans being stretched thin with higher prices across the board, there's no one coming to save us. To say the American people are stressed out, overworked, and tired and sick is just an understatement. Generation after generation, we're just continuously being asked to sacrifice more and more to the point where we can't even get homes now. We've got to sacrifice children and homes and cars. We have to sacrifice vacations and our mental health and our physical health. At some point, are we going to ask, what are the priorities of this nation, anyways, right? And when are we going to straighten them out? Because right now it feels like we're trying to police the world when literally our house is on fire. We are shooting missiles out of a glass house. Over the weekend, Vice President J.D. Vance met with senior Iranian leadership in Switzerland to further discuss peace negotiations following a memorandum of understanding between the United States and Iran. Not between Hezbollah, Iran, Israel, and the United States, just the United States and Iran. From what has been reported, the agreement appears focused on maintaining a ceasefire and ensuring stability around critical shipping routes, the Strait of Hormuz, while also addressing sanctions and broader economic concerns. Right? That's all cute, right? But we didn't need to do any of this anyway, right? And here's the issue. We went back to the status quo after death and destruction, after billions of dollars was laundered through military contracts, after we lost American lives, after thousands of Iranians lost their lives, and 30 something odd Israelis lost their lives as well. Why are we doing this? And this is the question the majority of Americans are asking. This administration has completely underestimated the complexity and the severity of the situation. They've seemed to believe they can launch military actions and make demands and just face no meaningful consequences. And this is just a broader issue in Western society, in the United States in particular, right? Well, why is there such a big disconnect between our decisions and the consequences of those decisions? This doesn't exist in a vacuum. There's information everywhere. We've known the severity of these issues. We've known the outcome of a lot of these decisions before they'd even been made. So why doesn't our government, why doesn't this administration take these consequences seriously? And the worst part about this is it's only proven to be a temporary ceasefire. The deeper issues, the real issues, the underlying issues remain unresolved. The fighting may have paused, but the underlying conflict still remains. Now both sides have a limited 60-day window to negotiate a more permanent agreement. And just to put that in perspective, right? I don't mean to be this person, but the Obama administration took, what is it, 18 months? 20 months? I think it was 20 months to negotiate a deal. And you guys are just so cocky and confident you think you can just make one in 60 days after you just bomb these folks? Not a good look. And then meanwhile, while they're negotiating nonsense, Americans did not approve of this war in the begin with. Congress did not approve of this war in the begin with. To us, it just seems like we're in another war that will not address the needs of the citizens. America has been paying for this conflict with tax dollars while we are in a full-blown housing crisis and an affordability crisis. And on top of that, honestly, a healthcare crisis. Our people are struggling. They can't afford it. Our people are having a mental health crisis. And we're taking Wegovy pills and other types of pills to lose weight because Americans are in this deep of a fucking depression. Whether you agree with this administration or not, this the situation that we are in reveals something important. It truthfully shows us where the priorities of our leadership in this nation lies. And it's all in profit. It's all in protecting their own, and it's all in making money. And these decisions are going to come back and nip us in the bud. They are going to damage our reputation abroad, right? America didn't happen in a vacuum. People can see everything going on here. Many people around the world already view the United States of America through a lens of just unprecedented military action and intervention, violence, and extremely controversial foreign policy decisions. Right? Actions like these just simply reinforce these global perceptions, these national, international perceptions. And if history teaches us anything, it's that reckless decisions often come with consequences years later. Eventually, the bill comes due. Personally, I believe we need to fundamentally rethink and re strategize our complete relationship with the entire Middle East and broaden and strengthen our approach to foreign policy because what we have been doing for the past few decades has not been working. For decades, we've invested enormous amounts of blood, money, politics, everything into conflicts throughout that region, and we have nothing to show for it. As the American public, we have nothing to show for it. Millions of lives disrupted, millions of lives lost, trillions of dollars spent, trillions, by the way, and the same problems remain unresolved. There has to be a better path forward. There must be more diplomatic and less problematic solutions available than just bombing other people into submission. That is just barbaric. That is Western society in a nutshell. War, 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 and religion. War, war, war. The reality is that these are deeply complicated issues with decades of historical baggage behind them. Military force cannot solve these political, cultural, and economic issues. It's going to take years of diplomacy and trust. The and while the governments negotiate, really it's just bombing each other. People are suffering, lives are being lost, supply chains are being disrupted. I can like the entire economics of the world is being disrupted because one administration wants to do whatever they want. Communities blown up, children's gone. All because powerful leaders continue to treat war like a game, a silly game. And they lack the perspective to see the consequences of their actions by the very real people who are caught in the middle. And I think this is what frustrates me the most. I think this is what really grinds my gears the most. This is what motivates me to speak up and do this and get out of my comfort zone and speak up. Because there are people who can't. The human cost was too grave. They can't even speak up. They don't even have the technology or the resources to speak up about their situation. Innocent people who have absolutely no say in the decisions that are being made above and about them. At the end of the day, I don't believe this is a good look for our nation. I don't believe this is a good look for the United States. This devalues our reputation. This devalues our reputation. This doesn't make us safer. It makes us a bigger target. I don't think it reflects the values that we claim as a nation and as a people. If we truly believe in peace, freedom, human dignity, self-determinations, then our actions should and would reflect those principles, and they don't. Don't believe the hype, don't believe the propaganda. This administration needs to take a hard look at strategy and a hard look in the fucking mirror and a hard look at themselves, because the current approach is not working for anyone in the situation. As citizens, we have responsibilities as well. It can't just fall all on them. We must hold our elected officials accountable. We must stay informed. We must educate ourselves. We must be willing to challenge our own assumptions and engage honestly with people who disagree with us, and not just jumping down each other's throat and arguing. But most importantly, we must ensure that our government reflects the collective will of the American people, and it hasn't for a very long time now. Because our leaders are not serving the public interest. Because if our leaders aren't serving the public interest, then it's our duty and our responsibility to replace them with our democratic process fast. And don't get up in here saying, don't be up there saying voting doesn't work. Voting doesn't work because the majority of people are uneducated. The voting doesn't work because the majority of people don't know what they're doing. The voting doesn't work because propaganda and algorithms. Like, voting doesn't work because people are broken. That's all I got for today. This has been the first installment of the Modern Mandate podcast. I am your host, Frederick. I'll be back with bi-weekly episodes breaking down local, national, and international news from my perspective. A perspective that puts the people first, right? And my favorite quote is, take care of the people and the people will take care of you. Until next time, stay dangerous.